to another episode of I Hate Golf, It's Awesome. My name is Caleb. He is Mark. We are coming to you today from Old English Trail, as always, on a kind of rainy, stormy, overcast. I think we're currently under a tornado watch, so gave us a little bit of time to sit down and talk.
A podcast.
Yeah, that's basically the schedule. Is when are we going to do a podcast? Whenever we have a really rainy, kind of crummy day. So, how have you been?
Been great, I think.
You think?
I think, yeah.
I was going to go back and look at the last time we did an episode. I forgot.
4 weeks.
It's felt a lot longer than that. It feels like a lot's happened in between then and now. But I think it was like beginning of February, I want to say. I'm not sure. We're mid-March now, so
Yeah, we did back to back, and
Yeah.
we were really consistent for two.
yeah, we had a very good start to the year as far as putting out podcasts, and then we got an early spring, which was unexpected and actually over now. But yeah, everything greened up really quick, and then I think we had frost last week, and there's supposed to be frost again tomorrow. It's definitely gonna cool down for another week, but
Yeah, it's that roller coaster again.
yeah, it was a couple years ago. We kind of had the same thing happen. We had a really early spring, and then it just cooled down out of nowhere.
Hopefully we don't get the hard freezes
Yeah.
like we did.
The frost will discolor it a little bit, but as long as we don't get the hard freeze, it won't stop anything. So yeah, what's new?
That's what I was going to ask you.
I'm trying to think of what all has happened in the past couple of weeks, and it's like I've kind of been back and forth trying to go down to Florida as much as I can before we really kind of kick off in the season.
And you made a stop Thursday?
Yeah, I went to the Players. I went to Sawgrass and got to walk around.
Well, I was here working.
Well, I was walking around in the rain, so I don't know who got the short end of the stick on that one is. But yeah, I got to go. We'd gone 5 or 6 years ago. All I remember from that is we mostly kind of stayed around 17. It was because Danny went with a few friends and stuff, and the video that pops up basically every year. I think it was Kevin Na when he walked in his putt on 17 and Tiger's playing with him and laughed, and then does the same thing. It's like we were there for it, and it's like I have the video of that happening on my phone. So I always think about that when that pops up. But yeah, I hadn't really seen a whole lot of the course. I kind of just wanted to go walk around and see kind of the whole property as much as I could. I kind of stayed between it was the group in the front was Spieth and Tagala, and then Rory's group was right behind them. So I kind of just stayed in between those two and walked most of the front nine, following those two groups, and then was ready to get out of there. And the sunshine came out as soon as I was leaving. So that's Florida. But no, it was good to stop there and
Good experience.
Watch some golf and see their massive practice facility. That's I didn't realize it was basically their practice facility is just it's massive. It's huge. So
Kind of like their maintenance facility.
yeah. Oh geez. Yeah. Everyone saw the video going around of their all the gators lined up, and it's like they have basically a commercial car wash for their wash off station. It's just. Yeah, when you can put out the call and have 100 people show up to volunteer any week, it's pretty impressive. But no, it was a good tournament to watch there and on TV. That was kind of the first exciting tournament in a while. Kind of getting closer to the Masters, so everyone's kind of got the golf bug and the weather's cooperated and everything. So yeah, it's been a good start to the year, kind of all around for us here and golf as a whole. So
Yeah, I was just thinking it's kind of odd because we always have it on in the clubhouse on one or two of the televisions, and I walk by and look, and I never actually know what's going on. Just thinking about it.
Yeah, well, Maisie's kind of at the age where she can semi-pay attention now. So I've been watching more golf at home because we try not to let her watch too much, but if she wants to watch golf, I'm okay with that, and I don't get yelled at for that.
Well, you brought her a hat, and I don't think she's had it off since then.
she has this book with this little girl that throws her hat, and she just always wants to turn to that page and just says hat. So I had to bring her a hat from the Players, so that was pretty cool. But yeah, we've got a lot going on here. it's all stuff that we've talked about in the past.
Right.
And then we kind of randomly just kind of put out, okay, here's everything we're doing, as we kind of tend to do. But the first thing that's happening is we talked about the carts that are coming from Club Car. We talked about kind of how we were going back and forth, whether to do the technology package and all that stuff, kind of the pros and cons of that. And those carts should be here this week or next week, or they're supposed to be before the end of March. It's kind of weird. It's like you put the order in for all these and it's like, okay, we'll let you know. It's like, you don't get like a tracking number to be able to see
the
when
day
they come.
before you see the trailers pulling in.
Yeah. Yeah. So hopefully those will be here by the end of this week or next week. I'm kind of guessing beginning of next week is
I'd
kind of
say
when I
next
expect
week.
it. And there will be because we did decide to go with the whole technology package where we're going to have the screen in there with the yardages and everything. It's kind of funny how they do it. It's like they're going to send us the carts and the screens separately, and then they'll send someone over and install them. So it's like, it'll be a kind of a couple days of putting everything together. They'll be here and we won't use them right away because we'll have to get everything set up for the course yardages and stuff. A lot of that they can do remotely. And I've been emailing back and forth with them to make sure, getting everything set up with the North 9 and the South 5. So everything kind of runs smoothly, but there will be some kind of install that has to happen once they actually arrive. And we have to take all the plastic off. That's always the fun part.
I'm guessing they'll show up on a Monday probably.
Yeah, that's probably a good guess. So that's very exciting. Not going to go into the total details of exactly what we got. We want to hold something back for a surprise, but I'm pretty excited. I'm excited. For someone that prefers to pretty much only walk, I'm really excited about these carts.
Yeah.
So.
Well, it's a huge leap. And it was, I remember talking to Chris at Club Car when we got here, and it was still hanging in the COVID thing, and it was hard to get stuff. And I told him, well, let's go ahead and get the gas, but it's like, just so you know, we want to transition as soon as possible. So, we weren't at the end of our agreement on the last carts, but he had confirmed, yeah, it's like, we want to take care of you guys. With your commitment. So, yeah, we moved out of the lease before it was up. We're very grateful for that, and allowed us to transition over to electric, which again, I love the sound of the gas cart because it's my Wayback Machine. That's how I grew up at a golf course. You could hear a golf cart. Sometimes it was the old Harley Davidsons. You could hear them 4 fairways over, and that just brought back a lot of good memories. But after them getting a little louder after 3 years, it's like, maybe those memories are made to just be remembered.
Yeah. It's further than 4 fairways that you can hear them now. But yeah, Club Car has been a great partner for us, and we're really excited to have these carts come in. And yeah, I think people are going to be really, really happy with them.
And that's for the golfers, it's a big deal because it's awesome for us on the management side.
Right.
It's a tremendous asset for us too. We'll know where the carts are at, where the transition's happening, managing, round times, and it's just going to be a whole new level for us on this side of it too.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of data that we're going to be able to see that's going to help us be more efficient with getting people on the course and making sure people are getting around in good time, and just kind of an overall making it more enjoyable. That's kind of what we were going back and forth of, is like, yeah, there's an added cost with everything that we're doing with it, but to me, it's going to make it a more fun time on the course, and that's kind of the most important thing. So yeah, I'm pretty excited about it.
Pretty neat.
So yeah, that's kind of the first thing we have happening, and really the second, third, fourth, kind of everything else is kind of just in limbo right now because we're kind of just waiting on the weather. We talked about what we're going to do on the North 9 with the first green, resurfacing that, reworking that. We're going to bring in zoysia as the surface for that. And I plan on eventually doing a kind of a longer video explaining the actual details of that.
Which, unlike the golf carts helping management, that's just the opposite. It's going to be a management nightmare having a different grass on one green. Playability, it's not going to change anything.
Right.
But from a maintenance perspective, it's like absolute nightmare.
It's going to be very involved. That's kind of the number one thing of having one green that is zoysia compared to, the rest of the greens are typical Bermuda.
Which someday maybe that would be the transition.
And that's kind of, something we can talk about a little bit is this is going to be kind of our test plot, essentially. We want to see how it performs, how it comes in, because, something we've talked about in the past, we've done videos before about, when we did a lot of tree work down by number 1, when we did the drainage work on number 1, we've basically done everything that you can possibly do
And then some.
to that green and that whole
Sometimes twice.
in that whole green surrounds. And it's just the fact of, 1, it's the lowest point on the golf course, and 2, it's always going to be in the shade.
Right.
And that's the number one reason to switch to zoysia.
Right.
Is it's a much more shade tolerant. It doesn't mean it's perfect in the shade,
Right.
but it's a much higher shade tolerance
Right.
compared to Bermuda.
And the bottom line, it was the best option for solutions to
Right.
that green.
Right.
That's just where it ended
Well,
up.
and we have talked about and looked at the possibility of moving that green. That's something we've considered, a lot really. And that is a very involved process because it's not as simple as just going out and throwing sod in a different spot. You have to, do drainage, the sand mix underneath. You have to move heads and irrigation lines and all that
And
stuff.
find the right spot.
And to me, that's the biggest thing is it would ruin that hole. That
Right.
is a great opening hole to me. And to kind of move it up, there's a couple different spots that we looked at and it just wasn't going to be a very good hole.
Right.
It wasn't going to play well. That hole is, that length and the layout of it was done very well.
Right.
And we really want to kind of keep that intact as much as possible. So that's what we're going to be able to do by just, resurfacing with zoysia, doing some more drainage work as we kind of get in there and we're able to take the surface off. But yeah, the basics of it is we're just kind of waiting right now because we don't want to put fresh sod out and then possibly get a hard freeze. If we don't have to be middle of summer, obviously we
Right.
plan to do this as soon as possible in the spring, but we're just kind of waiting to make sure we're
So
safe. Essentially,
the question's probably going to be, how much downtime will there be?
As far as how long we'll have to have a temporary green, it's going to be 4 to 6 weeks is kind of that's the average time frame. It's a lot faster than sprigging. Sprigging, you're looking at 2
months.
to 10 weeks, depending on how they take and, all kinds of, because that's the hard thing. It's like, yeah, we're going to be safe and we're going to wait till, the grass starts growing, but it's not like we're doing it in the middle of summer where
Right.
we know we're going to have that consistency. We're going to kind of fluctuate and continue to fluctuate through April and May. So it's really just kind of waiting to, we've already spoken with everyone we need to on the sod farm side of everything, as far as, availability and getting that. And it's basically make a call in a couple of days, we can have it. It's just, there will be some prep work that needs to happen to that green, obviously, and just waiting for the right time, weather-wise. So hopefully we get through this, kind of little cold front that we have coming in right now, and that'll be kind of the end of it. I've pretty much every hour I'm looking at the 10-day forecast to try to see, how much it's changing, and it changes quite often. So it's just, we want to be safe and we want to do it right. So, and that kind of ties into, what we're going to be doing, kind of throughout the course with the other greens as well, patching, spots that have deteriorated, some historically that have been bad.
Right.
Some is just kind of what you deal with in this kind of transition zone climate wise that we're in, it's like we deal with winter kill, and
Right.
you just kind of have to deal with that. You do everything possible as far as going into the winter to make sure the greens are as healthy as they can possibly be. But it's
Right.
it was actually a good thing that we got 8 inches of snow, because that having them covered,
Right.
that's actually good. It's the hard freezes and hard frost, especially it feels like we had a lot of days where we'd have like warm afternoon, a heavy rain, and then it would drop overnight. And that's
Right.
kind of what we're about to go through right now. So
Right.
that's kind of the toughest on the turf. So it's really just kind of holding our breath and waiting at this point. So
Yeah, because it's kind of, and we've talked about the patching of the other greens. That's kind of like a wait and see. Once we do number one,
right.
we want to see what greens are going to bounce back a lot healthier this spring, because we've done a lot of prep work last summer, at taking steps forward with them. So it's kind of like, yeah, that's going to happen, but that's going to be, let's get number one finished. And then we're going to be moving into April, and we can evaluate what greens are doing what. And like you said, a lot of it's just historical places on the greens that are just an issue.
Yeah. Yeah. And, a lot of it is along the edges. That's where you see a lot of it, where, from just years and years and years of doing a cleanup pass with a greens mower, those turf spots kind of wear down. And it's like you can try to top dress as much as possible to build those back up. But when you're just every day, that's why for I don't even remember how long it was, but we were walk mowing the greens to try to take some stress off. If it sounds like we cut off and jumped to a certain spot, it's
only because we did.
It's only because we did. So just totally ignore that. Nothing
Never
happened.
mind.
Never mind. We got a couple deliveries. So yeah. Trying to remember what exactly we were talking about.
Well, I was just talking about historically, there's places we want to see what's going to happen before we start.
Right.
Cutting and sodding.
Right.
We want to give it a little bit of time to see where it's at. But yeah, that'll be more of an ongoing process.
Right.
That, that's not like, okay, you have to jump in and resod a whole green.
Right.
A 1 or 2 day process. This is going to be over several weeks evaluation.
Right. Yeah. And that's, once we get kind of, the soil temperature up, once we get a little bit more consistency with the weather, we'll start our fertilizing programs. We've already started a little bit of that, but we'll be able to be more aggressive when it's not just going to be a total waste. And then we'll be able to evaluate, okay, what exactly do we need? And, there's some spots that I already know exactly that we're going to have to, cut
Right.
this out. And it's like some of those spots are very obvious, but, just thinking of years past, it's like the dramatic difference that a green can look from, beginning of March to mid-April, and then beginning of May, it's like, it's a quick jump. So, we don't want to jump too quickly.
Right.
But yeah, that's going to be kind of the biggest thing that's going to continue through the spring. Again, it's just kind of all dependent on when do we get out of this kind of weird end of winter, early spring type weather. So
all happening while we're chasing grass and doing everything else.
yeah,
as well.
yeah, that's the kind of key is like there's still a whole golf course to take care of. It's like there's always something to do. That's why days like this, it's not nice for play, obviously, but it is nice to catch up on some other things, whether that's changing oil in the mower or making new tee markers, all kinds of stuff like that just, it can't happen on a normal day. Days like this kind of allow us to catch up on stuff like that.
Exactly.
So yeah, we've got a lot going on. It's probably something I should ask you beforehand. Coach one for me.
Yes.
Junior program.
Yes.
When's that going to be starting?
I picked a date in April, and I don't remember when it is. I think it's the second or third. It's after Easter and after Augusta, I know.
I will take this opportunity, and I will hopefully remember while I'm editing to put whatever the date is on the screen so people know.
Yeah, we're going to start a Saturday. We're going to start a 6-week program, and it's going to be structured to where, sign up, get involved. It's going to be ages 7 through 17, whether you've never played or you play a lot. You're going to show up and you're going to learn some things, and you're going to enjoy it, and you're going to get better.
Yeah.
So and we'll use our practice hole for that a lot now, which is a tremendous advantage.
Do we need to pick a name for that? Because I feel like we
Road hole.
Yeah, I think that might be taken. I feel like we need to have a name for it. It's like sometimes, it's obviously it's the old 14th. I'll still say 14 if I'm trying to tell Josh to go mow or something, or the members practice area, members practice facility.
Well, Josh stopped me the other night. He said, "Can I go practice on 14?" I said, "You mean the practice hole?"
We need to have a unified name. It's yeah, but no, that's going to be a huge asset, being able to have the kids up there and actually it's everything we've talked about before. Actually let them get on the course and learn that way instead of just, okay, here's a bucket of range balls, let's work on your swing. It's totally different approach to it.
And we try to create that on the range and the putting green and chipping area, but you can't do it the same. It's different. It's the excitement is actually being on the golf course. Right. That's what everyone enjoys when they're getting started.
Yeah.
That's going to be a lot of fun. And we'll structure programs throughout the summer. In fact, I've spoken to a couple of the fellows about their churches hosting a kids program for Coach One for me, and which means we still provide the leadership, just a couple of volunteers to get the kids here, and they're going to have a great time. Yeah. And it's your program. It's not ours. That's what I like about it.
Right.
So, I'm very excited about that. That's going to be a lot of fun this summer.
Yeah.
Opens a lot of avenues for us. And, it's kind of like the North 9, South 5. It's been a dramatic change, and the response has been very positive, with one or two exceptions, of course, which is funny. I think I shared with you, there was a headline, with Buc-ee's, because you always stop there on the way to Florida. I still have yet to go, and I probably never will.
I can get gas. I can go to the restroom. I can get my snacks. Their food is way overpriced, but
the headline is Buc-ee's in trouble, and I read it. It's like, they've had 90 complaints about customer service and pricing. It's like, how many customers do you think they get a day for 90 complaints?
That's remarkable.
And then I started thinking, it's like, we get one or two people complaining, and it's like, okay, we have 15,000 rounds, 16,000 rounds. It's like, we're fine.
Yeah. Yeah, it's stuff we've talked about before, and we don't like to go into it too much because there's the fine line between, explaining and talking about things and then complaining about things. And, I feel like our tone kind of leans toward complaining a little bit, but it's like we've talked about with like the whole Google review thing and all the Yelp stuff. And it's just like, every once in a while you get someone that just has a problem with you, or they just don't like you or something like that. And it's like every time I see an email pop up that we have a new review, I'm just like, oh great, now what's this? And it's like, and most of the time it's fine. And it's like every once in a while it's like, I
always feel bad for restaurants.
Yeah.
I mean, because they get picked on a lot. In fact, I've always said there should be a page where restaurants get a complaint about their customers just to even the field.
Well, it's a lot of places have taken to that on Facebook. It's like, I don't remember where it was, but it was Alamo Draft House. It's the movie theater chain. It's like one of their commercials that they play before the movie in the theater was just them posting like a negative review they got. And it's like, thanks for not coming back. And it's like, businesses have started to learn. It's like, no, you can push back on this because there's no penalty for, you can go on to Google Review or Yelp or whatever, and you can just lie if you want to. Yep. And there's no repercussions of it. Right. And there's no way for the business to turn it off. So it's like, I don't know. I understand that, when people are looking for golf courses or places to eat or stuff, they want to have something to see is like, oh, is that place good? And it's like, I always think about it from that side. It's like, okay, someone that has never been here is going to see someone that had a problem with us. And it's like, are they really going to choose to not come here because that? And it's like, most people see through it. In fact, we've had people come in and be like, yeah, it seems like some people online don't like you. And it's like, yeah,
Well, and it's like,
that's
if
fine.
you go to that restaurant, it's like, the restaurant's full.
Yeah.
So somebody liked it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just, I don't even know how I got onto this.
I don't either. I'm sorry I brought it up. I think it's kind of funny now. It's just, it's like, that's just the nature. Anyone that's dealing with the public, guess what? That's what happens. But no, it's basically coming back to our transition, which, I talked to you about, what are traditions? And that's one of the things I heard. Well, that's not traditional. It's like, well, what do you mean it's not traditional? What's traditional to you? It's like every tradition started somewhere. 12-hole golf courses are becoming more traditional now. 9-hole golf courses were always traditional until they were convinced you're not a real golf course unless you're 18.
Yeah.
And it's like, and most of them pursued that and struggled with it instead of just being a nice 9-hole golf course.
Yeah.
So as I said, it's like, okay, this is a new tradition and I'm kind of proud of it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, realistically, the only courses that have to be 18 holes are courses that are hosting the PGA Tour or Live or some kind of tour. And it's like, we're not doing that.
Well,
so
who knows? The Live Tour might play.
Yeah, really.
No golf course.
They're going to be in the pitch and putt. But yeah, it's, yeah. But, to go back to, I keep getting lost in things I'm thinking about that I probably shouldn't talk about. But sorry for kind of drifting off there for a second. But no, it's like, the response to the transition, and we understand it's not something people are used to. That's it is different, and we're okay with being different. We're not trying to go out of our way to say, look at us, we're different. It's like, that's not the approach we have. We just, it's like we said from the beginning, this is what we believe fits this property the best.
Right.
And everything we've seen so far kind of proves that to be true. That's the response that we've had has been 95% positive.
Well, I can remember saying a couple of times when people said, well, why are you doing it this way? We've always done it here. It's like, well, you proved for 20 years that didn't work.
Yeah.
So let's just go ahead and move on.
Yeah. We don't need to rehash the past.
But it's like bringing up the Coach One for me, other activities so people know it's like, hey, we try to create things where you can come out and enjoy it.
Yep.
You don't have to be a tour player. You can be at any level. It's like, the Friday night it's 6 now, right?
Yeah, 6 o'clock.
You play 5 holes, so you're walking only.
It hurt the name, but it helps with people being able to get off work.
Right.
So
It's
Friday
confusing.
night 5 at 5 was a lot catchier.
Pretty cool for a while.
Yeah. But having kind of everything that we have going on weekly, the Tuesday night scramble started back. That's at 5:30 every week. We've got the Friday night 5 at 6.
We had a good start last week. Our first time with daylight now. We had our Tuesday night, had a great response, and we do that all summer. And it's like you get a round of golf, we feed you, you got a chance to win something, and you get to meet some people that you probably wouldn't see otherwise, or just bring your buddies out and play golf. And Friday night, I want to emphasize, it's like, because you play, you walk. It was basically that was one of your motives, so you could actually play every week.
It's kind of the only motive, actually.
And it's just like, well, that's pretty cool. It's like, you can come out for $10. If you're a member, you play free. $10, we give you a drink at the first tee, and you get to play 5 holes with the owner. Yeah. And you can badger him about what he's doing on the golf course and why and what's happening. And you can ask all the questions to the owner firsthand as you walk down the fairway.
Thanks for that. Thanks. Thanks for that. But no, I'm happy to talk about what we're doing, on the course or just talk about golf in general. Yep. I consider, I don't know if I really like to publicly say it, but it's like, I'm kind of a golf nerd, more so on the golf course side as opposed to the PGA
I would say
Tour.
Beyond kind of.
But, if you want to talk about architecture and bunkers and, why did we get rid of this bunker and why did we do that? It's like, I might not give you a reason you like, but there's a reason for all of it. So
yeah, it's like he can tell you what's going on with every major golf course and every golf course in the world. Whether it's Wisconsin or South Florida, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. I have a lot of time to listen to podcasts and books and stuff like that. In fact, I just finished listening to think the title is The Making of the Masters, because it's about the Golfer's Journal did a great kind of podcast series. I think a couple years ago is when they put it out, and it was basically an abridged version of this book. And I listened to the whole, I just finished it yesterday. It was like 11-hour audiobook, something like that. But yeah, I'm fascinated by Augusta after kind of learning a little bit about the beginning of it
Right.
and realizing that basically everything they tried, they failed. I mean, they failed hard. The reason that there's no homes on the property is because no one wanted to buy any. They had one member buy 2 lots, and that was it. There were supposed to be houses all along Augusta. It just goes into all that stuff that I kind of find fascinating. Talks about Paso
they don't
Tiempo.
have an HOA to deal with.
No, they don't. No, they've successfully bought pretty much every house within 100 miles. But yeah, I was.
So be careful if you're playing Friday at 6 with him, what questions you ask him, because you'll get that whole thing walking down the fairway.
It's going to lead to talking about Alistair McKenzie somehow. So, yeah.
And the other thing, we're still doing Saturday mornings. We moved it to 9 o'clock for the 9-hole scramble.
Yeah, which I definitely knew and didn't send out the wrong time in an email.
We only had one person that came to play at 10, so that was fine.
That's
good. We
good.
shuttled him out, and he only missed a couple holes, and he was fine with it. In fact, I think he was on the winning team,
Yeah,
so he was okay.
there you go. Yeah.
But no, that's as long as we get, we started the Saturday because we couldn't do Tuesdays. But as long as we have everyone showing up for Saturday mornings and want to play, we'll keep doing it.
Yeah.
We enjoy that.
Yeah. Yeah. It's, I think it's good to have kind of, we've got, like we just talked about, Tuesday, something Friday, something Saturday. It's like you might not be able to come to, all of them, although some people do. It's like you can show up to one. And
Well, it's to me, it's kind of like you. It's like you're going to be there Friday to play 5 holes. You have it scheduled, and I think that's good for a lot of people. It's like, okay, I'm going to play Tuesday night, or I'm going to play Saturday. To have that, make sure you get out and play some golf and enjoy it.
yeah.
And, otherwise, oh man, it's been 3 weeks and I need to get out there and do it.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it had been, I had chipped around and stuff like that, but I think it had been basically 10 months between me playing golf. I just didn't have time. And that's, having this kind of set on Friday nights, it's like, this is just what I do. So yeah, I get to play golf.
And I guess the only other thing is you're going to do a little promotional thing when the carts get here about, some folks that want to possibly advertise, because we have that available. And it's like, to me, that's pretty cool because, everywhere we've gone is we've tried to be interactive with the community.
Right.
This one was a little more difficult because the amount of work that was required, and we were just trapped here,
Right.
Day after day after day, and really couldn't interact much, which is what we were used to doing. So this will help us reach out a little bit, and it's a great opportunity for some people to get involved to benefit their business. So yeah, I'm pretty excited about that.
Well, and, we kind of, I always like to think of it, I don't know if they do, but, with the companies that we bring into the pro shop, whether it's apparel companies, Puma or TaylorMade or whoever it is, I always think of them more as partnerships instead of just, we're selling your stuff. And that's kind of how I want to go about the advertisement possibilities and thinking about them as partnerships instead of just advertisement, because we have been very, not just for the reason of we haven't had a lot of time to get into the community, but, this is our business, and we want to kind of make sure who we're working with is someone that we want to be working with. That's right. And we want to make sure that, when we do advertisements, it's done well. It's done kind of at a higher level. We've stayed away from a lot of the, when we got here, they had the big granite markers with the business advertisements, and if you want to do that, that's totally fine. We just kind of
scorecards with 97 advertisements on it that nobody ever reads.
And if you want to do that, that's fine. That's your choice. But we just kind of have chosen to take a much more simplified approach, and because we are really excited about having the technology in the carts and being able to do it kind of at a higher level, that's something I'm excited about. And I think, we've already talked to some people. I think they're excited about it too. And yeah, but yeah, that's kind of the approach I want to have. It's more of a partnership, not
Right.
just a,
Right.
hey, give us X amount of dollars for, whatever. It's, we want it to be beneficial, not only in, advertising for their business, but if you're going to partner with us there, we want you to come out and play too, and
Right.
bring people and come out and play and see the course and see what we're doing and what we're working on and stuff. So yeah, that's hopefully something we'll be dealing with very soon. I'm excited for the carts to get here so we can kind of get all that stuff done.
Yeah, I'm still hoping they don't call and say, hey, they'll be there in the morning at 7.
Yeah,
which has happened before.
Yeah. I don't think we had more than a couple of days when these came. It's kind of, they get them to you when they get them to you. So, but no, we've got that happening. Everything we've talked about with the greens, the course overall, everything kind of very quickly greened up. It's gonna step back a little bit with this cold weather, but no, we're in good shape. We've got more stuff coming into the pro shop. We just I like your hat that you're wearing. It's one of the new ones that we got in from Puma, Arnold Palmer. But yeah, we've got more stuff coming into the pro shop as well.
Got some lady stuff.
Yep, got some lady stuff. Might have some junior stuff coming a little bit later in the year as well. So yeah,
and we do have golf towels coming.
We do, yes. I confirmed that
that's
today.
That's the one question.
I confirmed that today.
You have towels? Yeah, but they're not here yet.
that one was actually my bad. I forgot to send a form. So yeah, those will be here pretty soon. But yeah, I'm excited about everything happening. Now it'll probably be October before we do another podcast, but no, we'll get another rainy day. But yeah. Anything you want to say before we get out of here?
That does it for me.
Awesome. Well, thank you for listening or watching another episode of I Hate Golf. It's awesome. We'll see you next time.